right? First and foremost, we're going to turn face to east, give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS, and rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations. Hopefully they got that pushing word of truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake that will lead the listeners who may have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, we're GMS Mississippi Capital, brother Yashima. All right,
From your shark.
and we're coming, with a weekly lesson, and it's dealing with leadership development. Okay, because as men, as we come into this truth, we're being groomed to be leaders. For the times that we're coming into. First we learn to be leaders of ourselves, then leaders of our households, okay? And eventually we're going to be leaders of the people, okay? And leadership skills have to be developed. And as we, evolve in this ministry, the Lord take us through scenarios that force us to make adjustments and then purge out certain character flaws, that we've developed in this society, all right? And they're being purged out of us, man. So he can mold us into the leaders that he wants us to be. Okay? Okay, yeah. Well, you guys, we'll start here and we'll go with an example of King Solomon. An example of good leadership. Go ahead.
This is 1 Kings chapter 3, starting at verse 3.
Yep.
And Solomon loved the Lord, walking in the statutes of David his father.
Yep.
Only he sacrificed and burnt incense in high places. And the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place.
Yep.
1,000 burnt offerings did Solomon offer upon the altar.
Yep.
In Gibeon the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And the Most High said, ask what I should give thee. And Solomon said, thou hast showed unto thy servant David my father great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth and in righteousness and in uprightness of heart with thee.
Yep.
And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne as it is this day.
So King Solomon, he's on the throne of his father David. And as he's making sacrifices, the Lord appeared to him. All right. And now we're going to go into the mindset that King Solomon came into his rulership with, man. With just the mindset, we must take on in these times. Go ahead.
And now, O Lord my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father. And I am but a little child.
Yep.
I know not how to go out or come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude.
Yeah, first, King Solomon said he was nothing but a child. Which the scholars say he probably about 20, maybe 20 years old when he started to reign, but he was young. He was young in experience, okay? And lesson one, he didn't think too highly of himself.
Right.
He ain't gonna come in with the mindset like, I got this. I'm King David's son. My father's King David. I got this. Nah, he came in with humility. He was like, I'm but a child. I barely know how to go out and come in, which means he just didn't have a lot of experience, man. Yeah, bro.
And thy servant is in the midst of thy people which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude.
Yep.
And he understood the responsibility,
Yeah.
the weight of responsibility.
Yeah.
Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people,
Yep.
that I may discern between good and bad.
Yeah, so his number one concern, all right, was an understanding heart, an understanding mind to judge and discern amongst the people between good and bad. That was his number one priority. Okay? That was his number one priority as what? As a leader, as a king, as a ruler. Go ahead.
For who is able to judge this thy so great a people?
Yep.
And the speech pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this thing. And the Most High said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment.
Yeah, so This pleased the Heavenly Father. This type of mindset pleased the Heavenly Father, okay, because King Solomon didn't pray for personal things.
Right.
You know, the wealth, the necks of his enemies, okay? Which when you go into studying ancient kings, you will have certain kings that was, that was a warrior kings, and they'll have a legacy for conquering, but they wouldn't have a legacy of being great administrators amongst their people. Okay? Judging the people in righteousness, man. So King Solomon didn't ask for the personal things. He was asking for something that would benefit everyone, right? Which is wisdom and understanding. You know? You can say something. Okay.
It says, "Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee."
Yeah, so now we understand that if we prioritize accordingly all those other things, it's nothing for the Lord to give us an increase. And see, this is what we're coming to realize, that the most important thing about leadership, all right, is having wisdom to judge wisely, man, to make wise decisions in righteousness. That's the most important thing of being a leader, is to be able to make righteous decisions, all right, wisely, man. You know? And this is what we're coming to learn. All right? So, real quick, get Matthew 22 and 11. You know?
This is Matthew chapter 22, verse 11.
Yep.
"And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which
That's
had..."
like 23 and 11. It's like 23.
This is Matthew chapter 23, verse 11.
Yep.
"But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant."
Yeah, he that is greatest among you shall be a servant. And when you go into greatest, it's speaking of rank. Okay?
Right.
So when we speak about being in a leadership position, that's an office of servant. You know? And as a leader, how do you serve your people? With wise decision making. Okay? With wise decision making. The decisions up top, okay, affect everyone beneath. So if you're at the top, your decision making, all right, has to be beneficial to the people that's serving you, man, to the people that's under you, the people that you're over, all right? Our decision making has to benefit them, man.
Right.
You know, you can say,
Because what the Lord is doing, He giving us the full understanding of the spectrum. Because when those that's under you, like you said, you're in a position of servitude. You know, you serving the people that's under you. You have the resources and the opportunities to make things happen so that their lives can be better. Because in turn of making their lives better, it's going to make yours better. And if you have the proper wisdom to understand that it's not just the people in front of you, but it goes beyond those that's in front of you. Because when you're in a position of servitude, you're thinking about generations on generations after. So the decisions you make now can affect generations on after that as well.
yeah, it's a ripple effect. When you're in a leadership position, you're never making the decision that just affect you. Every decision you make affects everyone that you're over. You know, you're never just making a unilateral decision when you're in a position of authority. Okay, everything you do is going to affect multiple people, multiple families. Okay, and this is what we're coming into understanding. So the relationship between the king and the people is supposed to be they're supposed to complement each other, man. Not only one benefit off the other. Like in this society, the elites benefit off the people, but the people don't benefit off the elites. Okay? But it's supposed to be a two-way street. You know? And this is what we're coming to understand, even between the husband and wife. There's supposed to be a relationship dynamic that complements each other, man. Okay? Even though the wife is under subjection to the husband decision making are supposed to be beneficial to the wife. It's not a one-way street. You know? You got it, bro.
Keep going in Matthew 23.
Yeah.
It says, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased.
Yep.
And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted.
And he that humble himself shall be exalted. And you exalt yourself, you're gonna be abased. Okay? So this all goes into a mindset because we live in a society where it's cute, you know, to be this leader or this person that's in charge that's exalting themselves, man. Boasting on themselves, man. Making decisions that only benefit them. You know? But the Lord is teaching us how to be humble leaders. Yeah, we're gonna be firm, okay? But we're gonna move in humility as well.
Making us well-rounded.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like you said, being under the elites, being under Esau, you get the spectrum of what bad leadership, how it affects not only just you, but generations afterwards.
Yep.
Not only, you know, because we say, like, if this continued on, if the Lord allowed this to continue on, just imagine how much worse it would be after us than it is now. But we had the insight to see that because now we had that wisdom to understand proper judgment. But the, you know, Esau Edom, he don't understand that at all. He thinking about, if I do this now, I can enjoy this now, and then the generation they already set up, they'll just continue on the same cycle.
Yep.
But he don't realize how further and further he's destroying his own empire.
Yep.
You know, because it's getting to the point to where he's going to take his own self out of commission. You know, destroying everything.
Trying to keep, you know, he's doing that by just only trying to keep himself in this top position. You know, so he suppresses everyone else.
Right.
Like you were saying.
Right, and then the ideas and the actual wise counsel that would help your kingdom thrive, he don't adhere to it. So that's why you see more and more people, because the people are only the result of the leadership. You know, the lower class is only effects of the decisions of the leaderships.
Yep.
So when they come out, when the people, you know, below them is in a bad case, in a bad situation, and they make bad decisions, it's only results of what's being done up top.
Yep. I'll get that for you real quick. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are they that dwell therein.
Right. So as a judge is, so is his officers, the people that's around him. They make the same decisions as if he don't have to be there, and the people under them are in that same mindset because that's the type of energy, that's the type of vibration you push out there. Mm-hmm. So the results the decisions you make, those type of decisions affect the people below you.
Yep.
And they start to have those same type of decision making skills that you have.
Yep.
You know, because that's why the Lord allows us to see all these things and be in this position so we can see what not to do.
Yep.
And he even allow you to be under these type of people directly that make these decisions so you can understand this is why I don't want you to be like this, or this is why the scriptures say this and that. You know, he give you real world examples, you know?
Getting that real time experience, real time. You know, because like when you under someone, you know, when you're under bad leadership, you learn like I don't want nobody to ever feel like how I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you understand like, nah, people, you know, people shouldn't be ruled over like this, man. You know, and this is what we're understanding. All right, even when, like I say, you can tell the quality of leadership by what you say, like the people.
Right.
You know, you can like a football team. You can tell the quality of leadership by the players. You know, a family. You can tell who's in charge by how the children react.
Right.
You can tell the household where the woman is in charge or the man is in charge by how the children react.
Right.
You know, because they're a product of either the woman running the house or they're a product of the man running the house. Okay? But let's say wisdom is known to what? Of our children.
Right.
Okay? Like what you produce, what your leadership produces, that's a reflection of your leadership. You know?
And it makes you yearn for righteousness even more, you know. And that's really what it's supposed to do. It makes you yearn for righteousness because now you desire to have things ran in this proper manner how it's supposed to be, to where everybody can win. Because now it puts you in a position to look beyond your own self. You know, we don't look at ourselves when we see our people suffering, whether it be, on the small scale or the large scale, like the whole earth. We don't yearn to see our people suffering. We don't yearn to see the earth suffering at the expense of, us. Now, like I said, it puts you in that humble mindset. It makes you a base, and it humbles you, and it gives you the mindset that, well, now I got to do whatever it takes. I got to make the right decision to make sure everybody wins.
Yep.
When everybody else wins, I win.
Yep.
You only as good as your weakest player on the team.
Yep. Let's get on 1 Kings 4 and 20. Yeah, being a victim of bad leadership, is all in preparations, of making us, like the brother say, well-rounded for leadership, man. You got it, bro. Just read 1 Kings 4 and 20 and 21, then jump to 25.
I'm going to read verse 20 in both KJV and NLT.
Okay, yeah, all good.
This is 1 Kings 4 and 20 in the KJV.
Remember, this is after Solomon prayed for wisdom, and it was given to him. Now, look at what this brought about. Go ahead.
Judah and Israel were many as the sand which is by the sea, and the multitude,
Yep.
eating and drinking and making merry.
Yeah, so that's the condition of us under Solomon, under King Solomon. All 12 tribes, eating and drinking and making merry. Okay? That's the state of the people. Why? Because there was a reflection of what? Wise rulership. Go ahead.
In the NLT, it says the people of Judah and Israel were as numerous as the sand on the seashore. They were very contented with plenty to eat and drink.
Yep.
And verse 21, the KJV. And Solomon reigned over all its kingdoms, from the river unto the land of the Philistines, unto the border of Egypt. They brought presents and served Solomon all the days of his life.
Yeah, so, King Solomon got the perks that came with rulership, but it wasn't just him getting the perks. Everybody was winning. Okay, read on.
You said jump.
Jump to 25. Yeah.
It's verse 25. And Judah and Israel dwelt safely, every man under his vine and under his fig tree, from Dan even to Beersheba, all the days of Solomon.
Yeah, all the days of Solomon. Every man dwelt under his own vine and fig tree, which means every man had their own substance.
Right.
Because even when you go into the marriages, like people hear King Solomon had 1,000 wives, and they just think of goddamn Freaknik. Right. They thought, like it was some R. Kelly type shit. Like, nah, man. He had 1,000 wives, but he wasn't marrying just any woman. He was marrying the nobilities of these other nations. When you speak about his wives from other nations, and that, he was closed, like in the ancient world, a king would close trade deals through marriage. Or they'll join certain houses, or they'll close business deal with marriage.
Yeah.
Okay? When you go back to how kings move, man. So King Solomon, he had 1,000 women, but a lot of those marriages was business decisions that benefited everybody.
Yeah.
You see?
And then too, when he built the temple of the Lord, he was dealing with another king. He sent his men. Yeah, and then he told them, my servants, they'll work along yours, and I'll pay you whatever you need to, pay your men to, whatever they need to get the job done.
Yep.
But y'all do the job the best.
Yep.
And it said it pleased him that Solomon even asked him to do that.
Yeah.
And he did exactly what it was.
Yeah.
But like you said, that was all a result of good leadership and the decisions that he made, while he was, as king, when he asked for wisdom.
Yep.
And the relationship that David had with him as well.
Yep. And then King Solomon, so even when it came to his workers, well, pretty much Israel, what you had when you worked under King Solomon, because most our people was in all the supervisor positions over the building of the temple. But it said they would work 6 months and be off 6 months. You know what I'm saying? You see, they would rotate shifts. So you'll be off 6 months, then you'll go work 6 months. What they call a work-life balance.
Right.
What they talk about today. King Solomon, he was doing all these things, man. There's an example of good leadership, man. You can't just work people to the ground so you can look like, you just this great done dollar. No, man, he was considering everything when he was making decisions. Like, he knew those men had families, and he was understanding those things, man.
Mm-hmm. And paying them what they needed so they didn't have to constantly keep coming back, burning them out.
Yeah.
Like you said, he gave them that work-life balance, because now you got the other shift, and they made enough substance to be able to sustain them
Yeah.
throughout that period of not working. And they
Yeah.
still had their own thing. Like I said, every man that had his own fig tree, had his own garden, you know, he had his own substance. So he's still making business moves with his thing while he under the in the kingdom under Solomon.
Everybody win.
Right.
Get that in 1 Kings 10 and 27.
This is 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 27. It says, "And the king made silver to be in Jerusalem as stones, and cedars made he to be as the sycamore trees that are in the vale for abundance."
So it says silver was as stones. You know? Stones, which means that's how common it was. The economy was off the chain. But you gotta think, King Solomon, the richest man that ever lived.
Right.
But everybody else was rich too.
Right.
You see?
Everybody was winning.
Yeah. Like silvers and stones and cedar, which is a pricely wood, was as the sycamore trees, man. Okay, which lets you know that the economy of Israel was booming under King Solomon, man. Under good leadership. And this is what Yahushua is coming back to set up in the earth, man. And we're being groomed to be joint heirs, all right, under Yahushua. So we are being groomed to be those good leaders, man. Okay? And then, like, even with Jake, all of the madness that Jake is into, man. You got Jake that told you to go take the juice. You got Jake that won't teach you what the C-hip is. You got Jake, you know, there's cash apping you to death, you know, begging for cash app to death to go do folly. Okay? Jake gathering you to be carnal. Horrible leadership, man. Jake won't even teach you the name. Horrible leadership.
And then they got you out there in public just saying all manners of things that's not wise to do in the time.
Yep.
You know, and then you think about all these men, just think when that time comes, they get snatched up for what they done said. You know, even before that time, you know, the Lord could just have anything that happen just for what they saying. You know, it's not wise to do so. You know, with the times that we living in.
Man, get that in Micah chapter 4. Just to show you that these times coming back. You know? It's going to be Yahushua, 144,000, man. Israel is going to see the benefits of good leadership. Because right now, we finna see an example of bad leadership. The way Jake is leading, and the way a lot of these men, they claim to be these teachers and these chief this and you know, high general, first lieutenant, and all this. Okay, we finna see the results of that bad leadership, man. Yeah, bro.
Sorry.
Oh, yep.
This Micah 4:1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Israel of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow into it.
Yeah, people shall flow into it. Okay? And this is talking about the government of Israel being established in the earth. All right, go ahead.
Many nations shall come and say, "Come and let us go to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob."
Let us go to the mountains of the Lord and the house of the power of Jacob, which is the governments of Israel. So in the latter days, the government of Israel is going to be established. Okay, and this is going to be a government of good leadership. Okay? Because we've seen the example of bad leadership as a nation. Now, the Lord is going to establish an eternal leadership, eternal government of good leadership. Okay? And this is what we're fighting to be joint heirs of, man, of this righteous government, man. Go ahead.
An eternity of wise decision making.
Yeah.
It says, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths.
Yep.
For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
So just like during the time of King Solomon, when all the nations will come to King Solomon for their wisdom, that's going to come back. All right? Because if you can receive it, Yahushua was King Solomon, man. But now he's coming back as King Solomon perfected. One greater than Solomon is here. As Yahushua said, and this is going to be Yahushua, all right, in the kingdom. You know? Go ahead.
And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off.
Yep.
And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks.
Yep.
Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
Yeah, so one thing that King Solomon, Yahushua, all right, is going to abolish in his kingdom is war amongst the nations. Okay? Because from the beginning, you always had wars and skirmishes amongst nations and as they jock for power.
Yep.
Okay? But now Yahushua is going to end that. He's just going to order, the earth in righteousness, man. Israel is going to be their ruling nation. And everyone else, every other nation is going to be subjugated to that. Okay? It's not going to be, us in power, but then you have these skirmishes and civil wars amongst these other nations. Nah, man, all this is going to be put down. War is going to be abolished out the earth, man. Okay? And that's good judgment. Go ahead.
But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid.
Wait a minute. That sounds like during the time of King Solomon.
Right.
It's speaking of Israel. So every Israelite man is going to sit under his vine and under his fig, which means every Israelite man is going to have their own substance, man. Okay? It's not going to be an Israelite man that's wanting. All right, go ahead.
For the mouth of the Lord of hosts have spoken it.
Yep, so the Lord of hosts, all right, the Lord of armies have spoken. This is going to be the conditions of our people in the kingdom to come. Okay? The Lord is going to show us, the benefits of righteous leadership, man. And we're learning righteous leadership real time now. Get that in Isaiah 1:25.
25.
Yeah, Isaiah.
This is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 25.
Yep.
And I will turn my hand upon thee and purely purge away thy dross.
Yep.
And take away all thy sins.
Yep. And this is what the Lord is doing. Because tin and dross is something that's unwanted. Because the scripture talk about how we're being refined. Okay? So we're being refined under what? Under affliction. In the furnace of affliction. And what does that do? Like the Lord put us in these circumstances to where we gotta make the adjustments. He forces us to make adjustments, man. All right? And it's making us better leaders, better husbands, better fathers, better brothers, and ultimately better leaders, man. Okay?
Force you to level up.
Yeah. We gotta elevate to king status, man. It ain't just gonna be handed to us now. We gotta elevate to that status, man, to be worthy to be a joint heir. So the Lord put us in these situations to where it's purging all these unwanted qualities out of us, man. You got it, bro.
And then
Looks like it.
too, when you think about it, because we always talk about ruling the earth, that's a big responsibility. Ruling the universe in righteousness.
Yep.
Having thousands of children, having 1,000 wives, all of that is a big responsibility. Because the more you detach yourself from this world, you realize the true purpose of what it's for anyway.
Yep.
So with a part of that, you have to be in a position to make wise decisions. Because we talk about all these things, and all the other groups talk about it, but it's wise decisions that come behind having all these perks. And that's the mindset of a king.
Yeah.
Because the king have access to all these things, but he have to have the wisdom to make sure he can govern it properly, or you gonna lose it.
Yep. That's a beautiful thing. You said the more you detach from this world, the more you understand the purpose of a particular thing.
Right.
Like now we really understand the purpose of resources.
Right.
We understand the purpose of women. You see, like we understand the purpose of these things. Now we understand the purpose of family. We understand the purpose of brotherhood. A righteous government. We're understanding these things because we've detached from it. And we look at these things from the perspective of a judge. And now we can judge the matter because we have a standard to go by now. Go ahead.
It was a quote the brother had put up too. It says, when you stop chasing the wrong things, you give the right things a chance to catch you.
Yeah.
And so that right things come with decisions. Because when you get into a position, you have substance, even if it don't matter how small it is, when you acquire something, it was a decision behind that allowed you to get to it, Anybody that give a life story about how they became successful, it was decisions that was behind that ultimately got them to that position. So it all started with decision making. But like I said, we always talk about ruling the earth, putting these other nations down, all of that is perks of wise decision making. Keep going.
Yep.
This verse 26, Isaiah 1:26. And I will restore thy judges as at the first,
Yep.
and thy counselors as at the beginning. Afterward thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, the faithful city.
Yeah, so we're being restored to those judges. You know, as before. Except on another level now, because this time it's going to be eternal. And the Lord's going to open us up to even more wisdom. You know? The least brother is going to be like a King Solomon, man. In his prime. Okay? And it's, like you said, it's going to be based on wise. Our kingdom is going to be based on wise decision making. Everything is going to benefit the earth. Even after a while, the other nations are going to benefit off of our rulership. Okay? But the earth, the animals, everything is going to benefit off the rulership of the nation of Israel under Yahushua. Okay?
Right. And like you said, you made me think, like you said, the other nations, they're going to benefit eventually, because all nations are going to be required to follow after our laws, statutes, and commandments.
Except for Esau.
Right,
He's going to be,
he gonna be done away with.
Yeah, you know, it's nigga.
But the other nations, even in their households, they're gonna be running their households how it should be ran under the vibration of Yahweh Shah, because they're gonna be forced to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments.
Yep.
So the decisions that we making now, not only gonna affect our people, but it's gonna affect the other nations in the long run.
Yep.
And that's still why, that's all the result of wise decision making, and we can see it. And that's a part of another attribute of being a leader is, envisioning the future of how you want it to be, all based off of making the wisest decision possible.
Yeah, the leader got to see further than everybody.
Right.
But what allows that leader to see? Wisdom. Wisdom and experience allows someone that's in a leadership position to see further than everybody so he can properly instruct. You know? Get wisdom in Solomon 6 and 20. Yeah, I think we jump to 24.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6, verse 20. It says, therefore the desire of wisdom bring him to a kingdom.
The desire of wisdom bring him to a kingdom. Okay? And what wisdom? The wisdom to, because you go into the scriptures, the Bible is a manual on how to run the earth. You go into the law, statutes, and commandments, it's pretty much the blueprint how to run a society. Okay?
Good.
So that's the wisdom that we desire, all right, for a righteous government, all right, a righteous governing of the earth. You know? I read 21.
If your delight be then in thrones and sceptres, O ye kings of the people, honor wisdom that ye may reign forevermore.
So we're honoring wisdom by applying it. That's how you honor wisdom. Because if you know it and don't apply it, you're not honoring wisdom. So how do we honor wisdom? As we learn it, we apply it. Okay, we subjugate ourselves to what? The wisdom from on high. Okay? Now read to verse 20, jump to verse 24.
Verse 24, but the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world.
Yeah, the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world. You see that? You gonna say something?
They're just like what Solomon said about the Lord. He basically asking for wisdom because it's a great responsibility to govern the nation of Israel. But now it said the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world. So you thinking beyond just what you see, the average, your own household. You thinking about this is a great responsibility to govern this whole earth. Like you said, the Bible, the scriptures are a manual on how to rule the world in righteousness.
Yep.
So the multitude of the wise, the decisions that the people and the judges, of the earth make is affecting the whole earth. And it starts with our people. Because we were created to do this. We were created to rule the earth in righteousness, and we were chosen to be given the wisdom in order to make the proper judgments. And again, like the brother said, when Solomon came down, he gave an example, but Yahushua gave the greatest example on how to do that.
Yep.
And now we're going through our process and our evolution to getting to that point of being the greatest versions of ourselves, just like Yahushua was.
Yeah, Yahushua, he sacrificed personal gain, during this walk. The scriptures say he became poor so we could become rich. So he lost financially, because he was a carpenter, which that was a lucrative business, but he lost out. All right, so he could teach more, and we will become what? Spiritually rich, rich in wisdom. And you got brothers that do that today. Like there's brothers that we miss out on particular financial, increase. We do what we gotta do. We make moves, and we man our situation. All right, but there's a lot of increase in this world that we sacrifice, for the benefit of the nation, man. So the wisdom, the nation can increase in wisdom for the edification of the body, man. And Yahweh Shai was that example. Okay? Matter of fact, that Hebrews 12:2, we ended there.
You want me to finish the verse?
Yeah, finish that verse then.
It says, but the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world, and a wise king is the upholding of the people.
Yeah, so the welfare of the wise, all right, the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the earth. The earth is going to benefit off of righteous rulership. Right now, the earth is suffering, man. Pollution, okay? Concrete suffocating everything, man. Families suffer, animals dying off, okay? But the wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai is going to heal the earth, man. Restore the earth.
Got a quick precept.
You got it.
It's Proverbs 29:2. Yep. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Yep.
But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
Yeah, and we're witnessing the mourning. Okay, because who's in power? The wicked, and he's ruling. All right, he's an unwise king that destroyed his own people. You got that.
And one more verse, verse 7. The righteous consider the cause of the poor,
Yep.
but the wicked regard him not to know it.
Hey, the righteous consider the cause of the poor, and that's another thing. Like us being in these low positions, we're going to fully consider, in our kingdom, we're going to fully consider everybody. Not just the people that's of high status or high rank. We're going to consider the common man. In our decision making, hey, we're going to factor in the common man. Because we live in a society where the common man is not factored in. All the benefit, all the decisions only benefit those in a certain class, man. Okay? But in our kingdom, it's not going to be so, man. From the least to the greatest, we're going to consider everything in our decision making, man. You got it.
What scripture you said you doing?
Hebrews 12:2.
It's Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2. It says, looking unto Yahweh Shai, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High.
Yeah, so the author, which that goes into a pioneer of our faith. So Yahweh Shai pretty much gave us the blueprint on how to be. He was faithful unto death. Okay, he put himself last and put his people first. He came in the spirit as a servant. He washed the feet of the disciples. Okay, he labored for his men. Okay, and we come in that same stead as a servant, laboring, all right, for our people. And eventually we'll be exalted into rulership, but we're gonna have a foundation of servitude, man. Because even in rulership, it's still gonna be based off servitude, man. It's just gonna be in a different capacity. Okay? So yeah, we're all in leadership development, man. And if your leader resembles, all right, the decision makings of your leaders, if they resemble a nigga, they're not being developed, man. So that was the point. We pray, all right, that your brothers, all right, and you sisters edified once again. We give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
Double honors to the apostles and the LGMS rule well, teach well, being great example towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom, shalom.